Okay, we're recording now. So if I'm shooting a hummingbird, and the thing with hummingbirds, especially on feeders, they go back and forth. And when they hop off the feeder, it's hard to maintain the focus and to shoot that quickly.
Right.
So the first shot is usually a bit off a bit. And then usually the second shot, I noticed I'm much more on. Oh, you just froze. Can you hear me? Oh, there you are, you're back.
Yeah, you froze.
Okay. So if it locks in on the second shot, then every time that hummingbird moves from that point on, it will automatically start shooting. As long as you have your button pressed down.
So you press down.
An example of that. Okay.
Yeah.
The hummingbird is landed on the feeder.
Okay.
I'm using spot focus.
Okay.
I'm focusing the spot on the head of the eye of the hummingbird is ideally where I want to be. You always want to focus on the eye first.
Yep.
And then I know the hummingbird is going to move. So I shift the focus over a little more to the middle of the hummingbird. So if it moves off, I'm still in focus. But quite often that first shot I get off is not. I'll miss a little bit.
Right.
Second shot, I'll readjust. And what this setup will do is the lock in on the second shot and stay there. So every time the hummingbird moves off the feeder, instead of having to refocus every time, it will just simply start shooting as long as you have the button down.
Okay. Okay.
And that I find is one of the best tips I've ever had for anything that's moving really fast.
All right.
Before we go on, I'd like to know what your what's the most important for you to focus on now? What's at the top of the list?
Yeah, so I think it is probably with anything is how, like the settings on this camera, how to get things set up, how to use this lens to my best advantage. Sometimes I feel like the picture's not as sharp as I want it to be.
Yeah.
And so I know that's my mistake also because I'm half blind, but still the camera should still be focusing better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess it's to get the cleanest, most well-focused shot, I guess, at this point.
Okay.
And I don't know this camera, like I haven't been able to practice a lot. So there's still things that I'm fumbling with, that I don't really know how to set up yet. So, which is probably why the picture's not coming out as clear as I want it to be.
Probably. What's the main thing you want to be shooting?
Well, wildlife. At this point in time, it'll be wildlife, either whether it's like in this next shoot, it will be animals like bears and other things you would find in the forest. But there's also been times where I've wanted to do.
Sorry, hold on. You just went off my phone as well. Okay. Getting an echo. Hold on. Oh, boy. Is that better?
It's very echoey.
I'm going to shut down my phone.
Okay.
Down from there as well. Hold on. Okay.
That's better.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
That was weird. For some
That was
reason, I tried to connect through my phone and I was getting voices from both ends.
weird. That's weird.
Still showing as, I just muted. I have another image up here, which is your.
Yeah, it's like an upside down image of something.
Well, actually, no, that's mine. That's my camera. Interesting. Okay, anyway, it's not bothering us, so.
Yeah, it doesn't bother.
Continue. Okay. Okay.
So, two things with that. One, they're not usually standing still. And two, it's what do I need to be, how to get my camera set quickly so that I can take the most shots in a short period of time.
Okay.
So one of them comes out.
Now, do you have your camera set to high-speed continuous?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's look at that first.
All right.
Here, I'll get my camera. Okay.
And I also want to know how to set up the lens, like those different buttons on the lens.
Oh yeah, let's do that. That's easy, so I'll do it right now with you.
Okay.
Okay, so look at the top one.
Mm-hmm.
Full 3 meters. Okay. So very simply, 3 meters is for anything right in front of you.
Okay.
Okay, anything within 3 meters, basically.
Hold on one second.
Or
So
9.
the lens is, so I would put that on the 3 meters for anything that's up close to me. Like,
Within 3 meters.
okay.
That goes 3 meters to infinity, which means that you can do longer shots as well at 3 meters. Okay. But the focus will be a bit easier for longer shots if you put it to full.
Oh, okay. So keep on full for longer
everything else.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep on full for most shots. Okay. So let's say that I have a hummingbird feeder and I've got it within 3 meters or around 3 meters.
3 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So I got that on full, which it was. So that's good.
Okay. Autofocus, manual focus.
Okay.
For animals, always keep it on autofocus.
Okay.
No need to go to manual.
Good. Okay.
And this lens is beautiful for locking in on shots.
Good. That's what I need.
Yeah. Stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
Handheld. On a tripod, you turn it off. Handheld, you always have it on.
Got it. Yep.
Stabilizer mode. Let me see if I remember this because I only use one. When you're using anything that's high speed that moves around like a hummingbird,
mm-hmm.
or even any fast moving animal or whatever,
mm-hmm.
keep it on 3. So number 3 stabilizes up and down, across, and diagonally.
Ah, okay.
You can move, if you're hand holding it and you're moving the camera all over the place quickly, you always want it on 3.
Okay.
Now let's say you're taking a picture of a heron going on one level right across the sky.
Right.
And you're at quite a distance.
Okay.
For that, you want to keep it on 2.
So animal.
Panning, basically.
Okay, for panning. All right, for panning. Okay.
And simply anything that's still, you use 1.
Yeah, okay. Well, that might be part of the problem I had before.
Could be, yeah.
got it.
Okay.
So if I'm looking at, let's say, bears that are moving across my field, but not necessarily quickly, right? Am I better off for that on the 2 or the 1?
I would use 2.
You said you'd use 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing you want with even something that's moving a little slowly is if they move suddenly, which is usually the best shots, then you want to be able to adjust for that. If you're on 1, it won't be as good as being on 2 because 1 is for completely still.
All right.
On the other hand, if you're shooting an animal and they're just like an owl or something and just sitting there and you know they're not going to move,
Yeah.
1 is fine.
Okay. Got it. All right. Good. So
Okay,
everything
that
else was
takes
set
care
up
of that.
except that one. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. All right. Then continuous shoot.
Oh, I should. Are you familiar with loosening and tightening?
Well, like I was having some trouble with it. Which I'm glad you brought that up, because how do you do that quickly? Like,
It's not so easy to do quickly. What I tend to do is I experiment a fair bit with it to get just the right tightness that I want,
okay.
and then I leave it.
And that's that middle ring, right? That middle white ring?
Yeah. Okay. And you can experiment. You could turn it a bit and then see how easy or hard it is to get the lens all out and then back. And keep playing around with it and adjusting it till you have just the right feel.
Okay.
What you don't want is if the camera goes like this, you don't want the lens falling out.
Right.
You want to have it tight enough that you can do this and the lens isn't going to move much.
Okay.
Okay? But you also want to have it loose enough that you have to adjust quickly. You can do that too.
Well, that clears that up. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
All right. So then move quickly. So this last dark ring that moves the numbers toward the base of the camera, this last ring here, when I move it.
That's for fine tuning.
So do I need to do
use
that?
it.
You never use it. All right. Because the camera should be doing that, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I never use it.
Okay. Good. Good to know.
Camera,
right.
the lenses are so good now, you don't really need it.
Okay. Good to know.
The only time I would ever use that is if I'm shooting something and there's a lot of interference and the lens is having trouble focusing.
Like through a fence or something like that?
Something like that. Then I might try to fine adjust it.
Okay.
But other than that, no.
Okay. Cool. Okay. All right. I think I'm golden. Okay. And as far as using the lens cap with this, any suggestions?
In what sense?
Not the lens cap, the lens hood. Sorry, the hood.
Oh, okay.
Not the cap, the hood.
Yes, you see this thing?
Yes.
Always keep it closed.
What is that for?
It's there for a filter. If you want to add a filter to the lens, that's what it's there for. I never use filters, so I couldn't even tell you what it actually does. All I know is for everything I do, I keep it closed.
Okay. And do you normally use your hood?
Yes, always.
Always, okay.
Always. I don't care what the conditions, always use the hood.
Really? I'm not really good at using that, so that's good to know. I'll practice with that.
Always have the hood on.
Okay. And always keep this thing closed.
Yes.
That you were talking about.
Yeah.
Hood on, thing closed. Okay, got it.
Here's a quick tip on shooting hummingbirds.
Okay.
When you got a lot of action around the feeder, more than one hummingbird, never put it, and you're only, let's say, 7 feet away.
Okay.
Never, well, not never, but try to avoid having the lens go all the way out to 400. It'll take you too close, and if there is action with 2 hummingbirds, you're going to miss it.
Gotcha.
So bring the lens in a little bit, so you have enough space around the bird, so if something else comes in to the scene and changes very quickly in a fraction of a second, you have a chance of catching it.
Gotcha. That makes total sense.
Yeah. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to get too close with the lens, and then they'll miss something like that. So always prepare for the unexpected.
Okay. And would that be true? Like, is it better to shoot with a little more space around it and then in your post-processing to bring it closer, or like as kind of a general rule?
Ideally, you know, if that wasn't a factor, I like to get in as tight as I can.
Okay.
Within reason. I mean, you do want to leave some space around the bird for editing.
Right.
But, and you're never going to get that tight anyway, unless you're right on top of it.
Right.
So you don't worry about that with something that small. But generally speaking, you want to leave some space around it. Everybody has different styles. Some people like to go right out, right back, and you know, have the animal in a corner or something. They like to try to do the framing and the camera.
Gotcha.
I'm not one of those.
Okay.
I tend to like to get in as tight as reasonably possible.
Okay.
Now with this camera, and with most cameras and lenses, you can't substitute for getting close. So the closer you are to the bird or animal, the more clarity you're going to have in your photo.
Right, that makes sense.
If you want to, yeah, but so even if you got perfect focus, the distance is a factor.
Yeah, I noticed that. I had been, I don't remember where, down on the coast somewhere, and was trying to get a bird that was, you know, good distance away. And what I realized is between the distance and the atmosphere and all of that, there was no way that that bird was ever going to come in clear.
No, I mean, there are a lot of factors to consider. Now, what will happen is as you get used to this combination, you start to really learn what it can do and what it can't do. And that's really important. Now, this lens is not great in low light. You might
Okay. Yeah.
Because of the nature of it and not being a 2.8 lens, which would have made it gigantic.
Right.
It's all trade-offs. So for ISO, I would not go over 1250 absolute max. I don't even like 1250.
Okay.
I do it when I have to.
Okay.
I prefer, and what I do is I play around with a combination of lowering the shutter speed and raising the ISO. So if it's dark conditions, I don't want to go over 1250, or ideally I like to stay around 1000 ISO maximum. I'll have to lower the shutter speed. So for a hummingbird, I love 1/2000. But a lot of times I don't get enough light at that. So I have to go to 1000. And so I'm constantly, as the light's changing, playing around with two things, my shutter speed and the ISO. And I'm trying different combinations to see what works the best. Raising shutter speed will add a little more noise. Raising ISO could add a lot more noise. So I like to keep the shutter speed as high as possible And the ISO obviously as low as possible, but it really comes down to the conditions.
Okay. And what do you generally shoot with your f-stop?
F-stop, I like to keep 5.6 is my ideal.
Okay.
Occasionally, and I haven't figured this out yet, even in a lock setting, this camera will, at certain conditions, will change the f-stop to 5.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't
Like
ask
it'll
me why.
do it on itself?
I'm shooting and I look down and all of a sudden I see F5. I didn't do it.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on there. It's a locked-in setting.
Huh, that's odd.
It went to 5.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I actually like 5 when it's bright. It gives me a lot more detail and it allows me to go to a higher shutter speed.
Right, right, right. Okay, cool.
Shutter speeds, high shutter speeds are great for fast-moving objects, obviously. But sometimes I want to lower the shutter speed to get more of a wing movement. So I'll go from 2000, I'll lower it to 1600 or even 1250 if I want to get a different effect.
I'm sorry, what were the numbers? You said you'll lower to what?
1600 or 1250.
Okay.
And again, low light, I'll go to 1000. When I get a hummingbird sitting on a branch, which they do in the winter quite often, they like to just sit and they puff themselves up. Really, some of them are gorgeous. Then I will go to 1/400.
Okay.
And I'll lower the ISO quite a bit because I can. And it'll give me a much cleaner shot, much less editing, and noise removal, and I can get it nice and close. So for that, that's ideal.
Okay, cool. Great.
Now, in saying all of this, which you probably know, there's a saying, lighting is everything.
Right.
And it's, in many cases, it's true. Okay? When you have great lighting, everything else is a hell of a lot easier.
Right.
You shoot upside down, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Well, I found a new place for hummingbirds.
You did?
Yeah.
All right, where?
Needs to know about it. It's in a community garden. Somebody put up a hummingbird feeder. And
Nice.
It happens to be in the absolute perfect place for lighting, which you very rarely get. There are no shadows. There's perfect green brush way in the background. And the sun rises right behind you, and there's no trees in the way.
Wow. I'll have to come to Canada to check that out.
Oh, it is absolutely incredible. And I come there about 7 in the morning, and there's nothing, no barriers. I can go as close as I want. So I stay about 5 feet, and it's perfect. And you'll see, I'll show you after some of the shots I got.
I would love to see. Yeah, I would love to see.
The amount of detail you get in a situation like that, you can be a genius when it comes to settings and still not get that kind of detail, even with not as good settings.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, that lighting is everything. The best shot I ever got was because of lighting, okay? Not so much the settings.
Right. That's amazing.
Definitely help.
Okay. So the idea is, first and foremost, then, to go at a time, like to scout it out or whatever, to go at a time where the lighting is as beneficial as it can be, and then go from there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You want the lighting ideally about directly behind you.
Okay.
Or at least even a slight angle is fine. And you want the sun ideally at about 45 degrees.
Okay. All right. I'll start playing with that.
Okay. Do you want to go through some of the settings in the back of the camera?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we talked quite a bit about shutter speed.
Yeah.
Any questions on that?
No, I think, oh, wait. So sometimes I'm just not, no, I got the shutter speed.
Good.
It's the f-stop. I sometimes go, okay, how do I set that? But I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
For what you're shooting, f-stop at 5.6 is fine.
Okay.
Landscapes, you're looking at ideally 13 to 21.
Right. I'm with you on that. Yeah. But
And
for like animals, you want it to be a little bit lower, like the 5.6, so it kind of blurs out the background some. Yes?
yeah, a lot of people like to use 6.3 to 8 for animals.
Okay.
After a lot of experimenting, I prefer 5.6.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes if I'm getting a bit of blowout because it's really sunny and I'm getting blowout on the white part of the bird,
Okay.
then I might raise my f-stop slightly to 6.3 or 7.1.
Hold on. If white bird gets.
And that's sometimes a challenge because the white will reflect a lot more than the other colors.
Right.
So always looking for a balance. So you don't want to blow that part out.
Right. Gotcha.
Sometimes raising the f-stop helps a bit.
Okay. Good to know. Got it.
Okay. Exposure, I pretty much leave it at 0. You know, if I'm not shooting HDR in a landscape,
Yeah.
it's a whole different thing. For animals, I just leave it where it is.
All right. So could we spend a little time maybe going through the menu and the info section?
Actually, what I want to do there is I want you to go to that video.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Go through, because he will take you through every step.
Okay.
And again, like I said, better than I could.
Okay. I'm with you. I hear you. I will do that.
Okay.
Once you figure out what the guy's name is.
I will find it.
Because I can't really type in dwarf guy who knows camera stuff.
I will find it for you.
All right. That's great. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. All right.
But I'm
So
very impressed with this guy. I've learned a lot from him.
That's great.
His whole life, and he shoots mainly wildlife.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And he's doing it on a 7D Mark II, so it's absolutely perfect for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Like that. Exposure and 0.
So and you know how to get into the menu, right? With the little Q button?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and let's go to picture style.
Wait a minute. Picture style from the queue?
Yeah, right below the exposure settings.
Okay. Oops.
Okay.
Wait. There we go. Okay. Yep, I'm with you.
Okay. Now, I've gone back and forth on this. I've read a lot of different people and what they were saying. And right now, my latest is I keep it on faithful.
Keep it on what?
Faithful.
Okay.
If you go into it, you'll see the options.
Okay. Oops, wait a minute.
There's standard.
Oh, 1 sec. So I'm still trying to get used to that little button to move things around, like.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to.
Oh, that's not right.
Drives you a bit nuts sometimes.
A little bit, yeah. What's still driving me even nutser is trying to move the where I want my shot to be, you know, the center point to like, because I'd like to shoot it off to the side a little bit
Oh,
instead
yeah,
of,
yeah. Okay.
and I can, like, it takes me 15 minutes to figure that sucker out, and I'm like, dang it.
In most cases, you're going to be keeping it in the center.
Okay.
But if you're shooting, let's say, an owl,
Right.
Or a crane, where there's a long body,
Right.
That's when you want to use that.
Right.
And
Exactly.
shooting portrait, and you want the focus to be on top.
Exactly. And I can't ever get it fast enough. Like, I'm always like trying to figure out how to do
thing. I even have trouble trying to adjust it quickly.
Yeah, it's a pain, quite honestly.
You really have to prepare a little early for that. It's a very hard thing to do, also because it's the way the camera's set up.
Right, right.
So I would say just take some time, and if you know you're going to be shooting something like that, adjust it beforehand.
Okay. Well, because I think about, so for example, like when I'm working with, like, I shoot alligators, or like on this trip with the bear's big, so its head's going to be and its eye's going to be on one side. If I shoot its center, I'm shooting at its body, but it's going to, unless I'm far enough back, then I'm going to miss it on the eye in order to get the whole body. That's when it's a problem.
Yeah. So what you have to do is guess before what you might be shooting, what conditions.
Yeah.
And do the best you can to set things up in advance. And as you do more, you'll start remembering what the best settings are for that.
Okay. Because my camera, I didn't have that. Say it one more time.
It's hard to do that on the fly.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've had a shot come up that I have a few seconds to get, and I try to, as quickly as possible, move it.
Right.
Sometimes I get it, and sometimes I don't.
No, it's so frustrating. My other camera was easy. Like, I could look in the thing, I just and it would move it wherever I wanted to. And this one is not, and it's a tad frustrating.
Some of the later versions of the Canon cameras do that a lot easier.
Mm.
So, and especially with a touch screen, it's easier as well.
Oh, sure, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so keep it on faithful.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And for white balance, right next to it, I always keep it on auto white balance.
Okay. Okay. So can we go back? Hold on one second. Dang it. Sorry. Well. Okay, so back to the faithful. So.
Yeah.
Hold on. Never mind. I figured. All right, I'm back with you.
Okay.
Yep. So what is faithful? Like, what does that mean as opposed to standard or neutral or whatever?
Confession. Like, I don't know.
Okay. I love you. That's great.
I really don't know. All I know is I've tried it on both. Faithful, on my gut level, feels a little better, so I stay with that.
Okay, I believe you.
I saw a video once that explained it all, what it meant, and it went in one ear and out the other.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that happens to.
Some things I just do intuitively.
Okay.
What seems to work and doesn't work, and I'm not so hung up with exactly why.
Okay.
It works.
Yeah.
I just want to get the best picture possible.
I'm with you.
And
all right.
Sometimes it takes a lot of experimenting.
Well, that's why I come to you, because you've already experimented, so I get to learn from your errors.
Made all the errors.
Exactly. All right.
Now, obviously, you want to have it on AI servo. On the last row.
On the first one on the last row? Oh, wait. Wait, what's that look like?
It's letters, AI servo, it should say. It's a big rectangle under auto white balance.
Oh, AI servo. Gotcha. Yep, I'm with you.
That too?
It was on one shot, so I didn't know what you were talking about, but AI servo. Okay.
So one shot is for still images, portraits, things like that.
Okay.
AI servo is what you want for anything that's moving.
Okay.
Okay.
Also might explain why my pictures were not coming out clearly.
Oh, really? You didn't have it on that?
I had it on single shot.
Ah, that explains it.
Oh, yeah, that's I was like, that explains why it might not have been.
Okay, it's making
All
sense.
right.
And the other one, AI focus, is for something that's moving but slowly.
Oh, okay. So let's say an alligator kind of moving through the water, not quickly, but just kind of meandering through the water. Would that be better on focus, AI focus, or servo?
I would keep it on servo.
Okay, so it doesn't matter.
You never know when the alligator is going to move faster.
Okay. And the bear then, if he's just ambling by?
I would keep it on servo as well.
Okay.
In fact, most things I shoot, I keep on servo.
Okay, cool. All right.
Shooting
Alrighty.
landscapes is different. You
Right.
put one shot.
Right. Cool.
Okay, so then we have spot metering.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the correct setting for things like hummingbirds and small stuff.
Okay. Good for hummers and small things, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
There. Okay, and then we have go into those settings.
Under spot metering?
Metering mode, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I keep losing it. Okay. So you have evaluative metering. That basically the camera attempts to get things right in a variety of different conditions.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have partial metering for something a little narrower.
What do you mean by narrower?
A landscape or something.
Ah. Okay.
Spot metering we talked about. And center weighted average, again, it's another sort of auto setting where it's going to take the center of what you're shooting and adjust for that.
Okay.
For what I do, I pretty much keep it on spot metering all the time.
Okay.
Unless I'm shooting something wider, like a large animal that's moving slowly, you might want to go to center weighted average.
Maybe like so for the bears.
You might want to fool around with that, yeah.
Okay.
Because spot metering, if you're up closer, might not be the best for a bear.
Okay.
Okay, just you want it to cover more area. The
Okay.
neat thing about spot metering is it's more concerned with a hummingbird's eye, just a small area. You know?
Right. Right. Makes sense. Okay.
Okay, and then we have high-speed continuous right next to it.
Yep.
So we have single shooting. These are pretty obvious. High-speed continuous, I assume, is what you have it on now?
Yep.
Good. Low speed continuous, pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Silent single shooting, or continuous shooting, silent mode. I never tried it actually. If you don't want to disturb an animal or
Wouldn't
what,
that make sense?
try silent mode. For what I shoot, it's not really a factor, but you can play around with that.
Okay. Wait, let me write that down so I remember. Maybe. Okay, got it. So up above,
One more.
oh,
Raw.
wait. Yeah.
I assume you're shooting raw.
Yes, I'm definitely shooting raw.
Okay. And I don't shoot raw and JPEG. It'll shoot both if you want. Take 2 pictures each.
Right.
But I don't bother with that.
So this says like it's got 3 lines on it, right? Like when I put it in, yes. Wait a minute. So when I click on it under raw, I've got it on raw, and then there's MRAW and SRAW. I don't know what that means. And then underneath that, it's got JPEG with a bar.
Yeah, it should be on the, there's a dash there right next to it.
For JPEG?
Yeah, if you don't want the JPEG, yeah, go to the dash. It should cancel that out and you just shoot raw.
Okay, perfect. Because that uses up a lot of extra
Oh, it's not worth it. It's
space. Okay. All right, so next to the raw, there's something with an arrow and a 1 just to the left of the raw.
an arrow and a 1.
Mm-hmm. Like, trying to show you. It's on it right now.
Interesting.
Oh, so yours doesn't have that?
Let me just have a look here. No, mine is showing raw twice.
Okay, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, one sec.
Raw once, here. Should just say raw.
So that's interesting. Mine is still showing that thing, even if it's got raw once or raw twice, right next to it, like right, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, shucks, right to the left of it. Wait, let me highlight it. I still have this thing highlighted next to it regardless of what's on it.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. And I don't.
You don't have that? Okay, I'll figure out what that is on. And then next to that, I've got a thing that's like a picture and it says off. Do you have that? It looks like this. Oh, just kidding. Here, looks like this.
Yeah, that should stay that way.
Okay, and then the one next to it is white balance plus, and mine's got like an exclamation point in it.
It should say, yeah, just say WB and then plus minus.
Wait a minute.
If you
So
have
mine,
a white balance, it should say that. So
oh,
this
there we go.
is looking at here.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Got it?
I fixed it, yeah. I must have moved it like when I went in there because it had like an exclamation point, like something was wrong. So, okay, got it.
Are you aware that you can preset things, that you have 3 buttons that you can lock in presets?
I understand that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand, like I understand the concept of presets. I've never tried to use them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. That's a little more advanced,
Mm-hmm.
but you might want to play around with that. Go into the manual.
Okay.
And if you look at the top button, you see C1, C2, C3. The wheel on
Top
top.
button where?
The wheel, right above the on-off switch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wondered what that was for.
So what I do is C1 is for most of the stuff I do. C2,
Like your hummingbirds.
C2 is for landscapes. And C3 is for fireworks.
Ah. And those are ones that you've set yourself for each of those
You
Cs.
set them, you save it, and then fireworks are like once a year. I'll go into C3, I'll fine tune it, but everything is already set.
That's so great. Okay.
I really like that.
Yeah. And is there a place that I can go to get, like, okay, you're shooting wildlife in the forest kind of a thing? Like, is there somewhere that I can go to look at where to find what those presets, how those presets should be set up? Does that make sense?
Not that I know of. There might be somewhere on YouTube,
Okay.
but I haven't seen any.
Okay.
Okay? So again, in another lesson, we can go through that.
Okay.
It's just a little too much right now.
Gotcha.
I would say right now, we've got this set up. By the way, here's another tip.
Yep.
If you're shooting in a very dark area, let's say you're shooting an owl in the middle of a tree.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
The only way you're going to get a decent shot is if you go to a preset, which is AV.
Okay.
Style.
Mm-hmm.
What that'll do is it'll make the adjustments for you, and there'll be some weird ones, and it'll give you enough light to get some kind of picture.
Okay.
And all the adjustments in manual you can make, you'll never get that.
Say that again one more time.
All the adjustments you try in manual for conditions like that, you're never going to get quite what you want.
All right, so it's better to put it in AV.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay. Any questions?
No, I think I'm good with what we've talked about today.
Good. Okay. Would you want to do another lesson?
You mean now or soon?
No, in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What I'd like to do is, if you can find me that guy's name, because if I start looking at some of this stuff, then I can, anything that I don't quite understand, I can ask you about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it to you for sure.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So do you know what the A, like on the top wheel where the, manual AV, TV, P, you know what the A plus means?
Boy, you ask hard questions.
Sorry. I was just curious, what that's for.
I don't think I've ever used it. It says Scene Intelligent Auto. So
I didn't know if I
grayed out. It's like if you know nothing about your camera and
just
you
let
want
it.
the camera to do as much as possible, choose that one.
So that's like your automatic setting then.
Pretty much.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds perfect. All right. I've got my calendar and my phone because I've got stuff on each of those. When are you generally free?
My hours change all the time. So
Okay.
let me reverse that. When are you?
Yeah, when am I generally free? Let's see, let me get, we're already, I don't know how that happened. So I potentially could be available Friday, hold on, just want to check. Yep, I've got some time on Friday or Saturday. And then next week, I've got time on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Anything? I'd like to do, if possible, a couple more, 2 or 3, maybe 4 lessons before I go on that shoot, which is
Sure.
middle of July.
You want me to mark you on it after?
Say it again? You want me to mark
Want me to mark you on it?
How I did, you
On
mean?
your shoot? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I absolutely do.
One of the things I'd like to do sometime is get into the editing,
Yes, because I suck at that.
and I can give you some ideas on how you can get a workflow
That
going.
would be great, because I have not a clue. Like, that's
You
probably,
have a desktop, by the way?
yeah, not a desktop. I've got a laptop.
Okay, we'll do what we can there. Desktops are always better for editing because you can have a nice big monitor.
Yeah, I don't have that option.
Okay. Okay, we'll do it on a laptop.
So I have a question. Like, if you've got a laptop, isn't there a way, like, if I had a bigger screen, that I could attach it to a laptop?
Yes.
I may be able to figure something like that out.
Yeah. I just got 34-inch 21:9 curved screen.
And what's the, like, wow.
I'll show you.
Oh my God.
Let's see. We can.
Oh, hi, me. Wow. That's beautiful.
Disappeared. Sorry, I'm trying to get you back.
That's okay. It's gorgeous. Wow, what a clear picture.
So it curves around.
Holy cow. That's beautiful. And it's just the screen.
That's the screen.
And it's just made to attach to a computer?
Yeah.
Okay. And where did you get it at a normal store? Did you order it online? Is it like crazy ass price?
Well, I have a tech friend.
Oh boy. Okay.
Talk tech stuff a lot, and he says, "Look, these screens just came out. You got to get one." I said, "I'm using 2 22-inch monitors. It's fine, you know." And he said, "No, these screens are amazing." I couldn't really relate. So I'm looking through my Air Miles rewards, and this screen comes up, and they never have stuff like this.
Right.
And I had just enough Air Miles, and it retails at about 800.
Okay, I figured.
That's Canadian, by the way.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And I bought it.
And are you happy with it?
I will never go back to 2 monitors again. This is
I believe
for
you.
editing. This is unbelievable. I open up Photoshop and I have 34 inches to lay everything out just the way I want it. And I could never do that properly with 2 monitors.
Right.
And
right.
you can arrange as many windows as you want. So it's incredibly versatile. And movies look incredible on it.
Really?
Yeah.
So who makes it? Like who's the
A lot of companies. This one is Samsung.
Oh, okay. I like Samsung, so.
Yeah. But you need a desktop. Well, no, you could do it on a laptop. Yeah, I just realized you could just simply.
Yeah, I should be able to plug it into my laptop, right?
It is a display port plug, so you have to get a converter. but that's no big deal. HDMI to display port. But you get totally spoiled.
I believe you, 100%.
The resolution on it is just under 4K.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. Right. I'm looking to see if so this is just a little itty bitty laptop. I'm looking to see.
Now, laptops, how much memory do you have, and do you know what your CPU is? Is it an i7?
Yes, it's an i7.
Okay.
It's an,
how much memory?
I don't know, but if you tell me where to look, I can.
If you go into System.
I'll go into System. Okay, System.
Okay,
right.
And go to, let me see here.
Storage?
Oh, they always put it in a different place. I just got to find it here. No, it's not. I got to go into detail. Anyway.
This says 64-bit operating system. Is that what you're looking for?
No, but
no. All right, I'm keep looking.
There's somewhere in settings where it'll give you system info is what you want to find.
System info. All right, hold on one second.
If you do a search on system info, it'll go there in Windows. System information is what you want to search on.
All right, hold on.
Search in Windows, it'll come up.
Search in Windows and it'll come up.
Windows search bar?
Yeah. Wait a minute, hold on. No. System.
So if you click on the Windows icon.
Yeah. All it brings up is about your PC, taskbar notification area, and system itself.
No, go to system information is what you want to search on. So in the Windows search bar.
Yeah, I'm in the Windows search bar.
And type in system information.
Right.
And it should pop up.
All right, let's try this again. All right, once I get there, what am I looking for?
Okay, so you should see on top it'll say OS name.
Yeah.
If you look down, 3/4 of the way down, you see total physical memory.
So look, oops, 15.8.
Oh, you have 16 gigs memory. That's good.
Okay, good.
That's a good laptop.
Yeah, I spent good money on it just because I had planned to do all my editing on here.
Yeah.
What it's lacking is that it doesn't have a lot of ports to put stuff in.
Well, that's easily fixed. What you do is you get a 7-port powered hub. 5 or 7 ports, whatever you want.
Okay.
Make sure it's powered.
Okay.
And just plug that in and you're set. You can plug as many things as you want in.
Okay. Make sure it's powered. That's the difference.
Make sure it's
okay. Powered. Okay, cool. So if I do that, can I still, if I got a screen, let's say when I hit the lottery, and I get a screen like that, would it be able to go into that?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. that'd be lovely.
Let me just, no, what do you have an HDMI port on your computer?
I have something that I could, yes, hold on.
You should have.
Yes, I do. I just got one, and that's all I have.
For the monitor.
Okay,
You just need that, and you're set.
okay,
And with, yeah, you're set up, it'll power it, no problem.
great, perfect. Great, awesome. I'm gonna start looking into it. I won't have it anytime soon, but I'll like play with the rest of, understanding workflow and how to fix things. And for the next time, I'll see if I can find just a couple pictures that I took most recently.
Yeah.
And again, like I was taking them not with the idea of perfection, but was really more just trying to understand this camera. So
yeah,
keep that, in your head.
Well, that's the best way to learn. The only way you learn is to make mistakes.
Right. Well, I make them all the time.
Well, taking photos especially, you want to make lots of mistakes because that's time you correct it, you fine-tune things.
Right.
And it's definitely one of the best ways to learn.
Great. Well, then I'm a pro at making mistakes. It's awesome.
Okay.
And I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with
that mistake, and you figure it out, and then the next time you know it.
Right. Or the next time, or the next time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, sounds great. I will pull some up and.
So, what time is good? Let's see. Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday at, let's see if it's Friday at 12. 12 my time, 3 your time.
So it'll be 3 my time?
Yeah.
That should be okay, if that works for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Okay, we'll wrap it up there.
Perfect.
And I will get you that guy's name.
That'd be great.
I just remembered it.
Oh, aren't you smart? All right, I'm ready.
Pretty good at 68.
I'm pretty impressed.
My daughter's not impressed.
Oh, they're your kids. They're not supposed to be impressed. They're supposed to keep you in line.
Yeah. Grant Atkinson.
ATK?
INSON.
Got it.
However it sounds. But there's a particular series.
Okay.
And you're looking, do a search 7D Mark II.
7D Mark II, okay.
It's called Fine Tune Settings or something.
Okay.
Settings, do a search on that.
Okay.
If you can't find it, let me know, I'll find it for you.
All right, perfect.
And it's a 5-part series.
Okay.
Definitely one of the best I've seen.
Wonderful. And it's free.
It's free. That's the neat thing about YouTube.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. I love people who share their knowledge like that. Like that's awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Perfect. Okay. Cool.
Okay. For payment, do you want me to send you a PayPal invoice?
If you would, that'd be great.
Okay. We'll do that.
Perfect.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. See you Friday.
Okay. See ya.
All right. Bye.